everyone, it's Julia from the Macedon Public Library. Today I'm coming with you with a demonstration from a craft. Not many of you may have all of the stuff that you need at home to do this, but this will definitely be a program that will be that we'll offer at the library once we can do that, once we can do things at home, or not at home, once we can do things not at home, but together and in person. It might be a while, but that's okay. I have the supplies and they will last. So first I'm going to start off with sharing a picture that I took with all the stuff that I used. All right, I didn't use my cat. He just got in the picture. So I used the white stuff at the beginning, and here's my cat again, is a silk. So the one I used for this project was actually a silk that I had previously kind of dyed but was messed up. So I just dyed over it. And that's what this is here. You can see a little bit of color on it. So the bottom center is a silk. And then the little container on top of it is the dye. And I'll show you a little bit. It's a specific kind of dye that specifically works with silks. So that's probably something you're not going to have at home. And most people don't keep extra silk around the house either. But we use vinegar, just white vinegar. Everybody generally has gloves nowadays. So some like non-latex gloves, a foil pan or some kind of pan, you don't care if it gets messy, either a glass jar or a Ziploc bag, which is what it's right at my cat's feet, a towel underneath it to dab off the water, and then an iron which finishes it, and it sets everything with the heat. So that's all the supplies that I use. I'll get out of there, and I have a video for you, and there's no sound recorded, so I'm just going to talk over it because that just worked the easiest. How do I start it? I hope you can see it. Here we go. Okay, so there's the silk. I have my gloves on already. And I just squirt in some vinegar, just a little bit. You want the vinegar to saturate the fabric. So what I did was, I didn't even measure this. It's probably maybe a 15 by 15 square of silk. So I've just made sure that I got all the vinegar in all the parts of it. And you don't want too much because then the color's going to run. So I squeezed out what was excess. Open it up, make sure that it did get to all the parts. And then I poured out what was left in the container. Then I'm opening it up. Now you could do this many different ways. You can do this like tie-dye. You could use rubber bands. You could gather it. You could like do spirally twists. What I like to do is just kind of scrunch it like this. So some of it is higher and some of it is lower. And the dye is a powder. So you just kind of tap it on. Because it was kind of a blue and yellow already on the silk a little bit, I chose a blue, I think a royal blue and a purple. And you just kind of tap it on. Kind of see the powdery bits getting in there. One of the times that I've done this at the library, I did it with a younger individual, and she didn't understand the concept of not too much. And in the end, her silk basically came out like a dark brown black because she had all the colors. She had a lot. Kind of spreading it around. I think this is the purple. So what's interesting is that the purple kind of separated into some more blue and some more purple, some more red bits. So I did not use red at all. So I'm just kind of scrunching it to get the colors together. The vinegar helps it set into the fabric. Moving it around with my fingers, which is why I've got the gloves on, so that it didn't dye my hands. It would come off of your hands. It just might take a couple days. Looking to see that I kind of have it distributed a little bit. I didn't want a solid color. I want it kind of blotchy. That's why I call it color by accident. So I gathered it up, and this is the first time I've ever put it in a glass jar. I know it's been in my instructions forever. I've always just used a Ziploc bag. But when you use a Ziploc bag, and so the heat of the microwave, it's what's setting it. It goes in there for 3 minutes. When you use a Ziploc bag, you have to open it every 30 seconds or so because the bag puffs up. and expands, and you have to stop it so that then it'll cool and come down, and then you turn it on again, and then you stop it and it comes down. This way with the glass jar, you just let it go for 3 minutes. And the microwave didn't mind, the camera's tripod didn't mind. What I didn't notice, if I did this again with a glass jar, which I will, because it was awesome, it was a lot less hands-on. And then you just let the glass cool before you touch it. Whereas the plastic bag, it gets all, anyway, it's very dangerous, very hot. I think I would maybe put a plastic wrap over the top to help hold in some of the moisture, because when I pulled it out and I went to our back sink, you can tell I've done dyeing and painting back here. This is between our washer and dryer, but it's all stained because I do crafts. So it was very dry. So the moisture had kind of evaporated out from the microwave. So this is just cool water, and I'm just rinsing the excess dye out of it. And you just kind of keep wringing it out and moving it around, make sure it gets to all of the areas of the fiber. Scrunching it out. Yep, there's still some color. Keep going. It doesn't take very long. And then at the end, the last thing we do after we get out extra water and then iron it, by that point, this is hand wash, or it's washable. You could throw this in the washing machine, and the color will stay in it. So it's a really, really awesome. I don't wear scarves, so anytime we do dyeing silk scarves are very easy to find, and they're fairly inexpensive to get as clothing blanks without any color on them. And but I'm not that kind of person. I don't wear scarves. I can make them and give them away as gifts. But mostly what we have around our house are squares like this one is, that we used to use when my son was younger as, we would call them play silks. So they would be backgrounds for his Legos. When he would build Legos, it would be like a background, or use them as table coverings, or even, so there you go. So that's wet, what it looks like. And I just roll it out in a towel. So we've used silks for curtains, which we've had at the library in the back room to help cut the sunlight. So we've used silks in different ways, not as scarves. All right, so I just pressed out, rolled out some of the extra water, go to the ironing board. And this is the final set of the heat. You can see how the purple has broken down, and you get some of that red coloring there in splotches. And I really like that. I was kind of wondering, since there was some yellow already in the silk, if some of the blue would turn green, and it didn't. I didn't know. It's fine. I like it. And the iron is set on silk setting, so it's a very hot, dry iron. Just finishes it off. A little bit more. So the whole project is pretty quick. When we've done it at the library, I think we've never had more than maybe 10 people at a time, just because you have to wait your turn then to use the microwave. And even if we have a couple of irons going, it still takes time. And then there's only one sink for rinsing it out. But it overall is a pretty quick project. I find it a lot less messy than doing tie-dye with cotton fabric, which is, traditionally t-shirts and stuff. Well, you're not doing the dye baths. You don't have to dissolve the colors. You don't have all that extra preparing the fabric at a time. So there you go. So it's dry, and it's dyed, and it's interesting. All right, so stop that. And back to the meeting. Let me see if I can show. So this is what it is closer up. I don't know if you can see that okay. I can kind of see it through the camera. You can see the splotches of color where it was darker and lighter. Kind of looks like a spacey kind of thing to me. I don't know. I like spacey things. And I pointed out the dye. I don't know how I can do this without, maybe that's a little bit better. The brand is Jacquard, Jacquard, Jacquard Acid Dyes. It is also for wool and silk feathers you can do if you wanted to dye feathers. And it's a powder. This one is supposed to be pink. Ah, dropped it. And it doesn't look like that if you looked at the powder, but once it gets wet, it gives you the color. It's kind of a very bright pink. So that's basically all there is for silk dyeing. You can see this in the background is another silk that I've dyed that obviously had purple in there too. And I think it's a really cool thing to do. And I love that you never exactly know what it's going to look like, but I've never been unhappy with anything that I've ever done. And we will be doing this sometime at the library in the near future. It may be more future than near, but this definitely will be a program. So keep an eye out for it. And there will be no charge for the program. I'm wanting to use up supplies that we either had. I think we've maybe gone through all of the scarves that were from the friends that I got a friend's grant from. I think we've used all of the scarves, but I have several things that I've purchased individually and I don't need them, and I'm just going to be very glad to donate them and let people come and dye them and take them home and get them out of my house. So I think I will leave it there. I hope you've all enjoyed this, and if you are interested, just keep looking for this once we're back to, I'm not going to say new normal because people are saying that way too often, but that when we get to a place where we're offering in-person programs again. And I hope you're having a great day. There's a great weekend. It's beautiful. It's Saturday. It's sunny. It's warmer. Hooray for spring. Okay, thanks so much. I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks.